Welcome back. You're continuing to watch Live from Main Street. You are our online viewers. Thanks so much for joining us. We've received some questions from our watchers online. We've also got people with questions here in Seattle.
My name is Thalia Sarkopoulos, and I'm with the Seattle chapter of National Organization for Women and with Seattle Women in Black. And I think that a major force in our national security policy is that war is substantially more profitable than peace. And I would like to know if you have any suggestions of how we, the people who want to reverse that and have real national security, what can we do to break the stranglehold that the arms industry and the war profiteers have on our national security policy?
The war industry doesn't pay the cost of war. You pick up the pieces. Women pick up the pieces in the same way that women pick up the pieces at the home. Talk about the way we think about this stuff and how you would suggest it change.
I think the questioner's question was actually really interesting about how can we shift the focus from the military-industrial complex, shift our resources from the military-industrial complex back to things that families need. And the question was how to do it. And what I thought was compelling about that is that we too often think that we ourselves, our own voices, don't matter, that we cannot do it. And it goes to what you were saying about communities. And what's so important to realize, and just gives me goosebumps to think about, is that when we come together as a voice for change, we can actually change the way that we are allocating our resources both at the city, the state, and the national level. We're seeing a wave of change right now happening with the ballot box. We're seeing a lot of people talking about restructuring how we're going to look at these issues and really reframing these issues in a way that matches what their personal morals are and what they personally want. And I think it's important right now as women, we too often think that the issues that we are facing in the kitchen, on the home front, that we are facing alone, with our children, and that also only women face them. And it's not true. We're all facing them. And one of the things that we find with Moms Rising is that sharing the stories that when this many people are having the same problems at the same time, we have a societal structure that needs reshaping and not an epidemic of personal failings. So back to your question about how to change it, we can change it. It's time to do that.
Gail, you wanted to come in on this?
I think it is a great question, and it is the heart of where we are at in our society today. We have to make a choice. Choice is about priorities. If we allow the U.S. Congress to put priorities into the defense and security budgets, they will. If we make our voices heard, make our priorities known, and we decide to invest in the jobs of the future, clean technologies, clean industry, clean opportunities, cleaning up our environment, dealing with climate change, we can, and we have in the past. And I think that is the moment that we are at. We have to make a choice, and we have to make our voices heard, because we can change it from a war profiteering industrial base to an industrial base that is building jobs that will protect us, Martha, our environment.
Martha, back to you. I still want to get at, is this war profiteering really profiting?
Well, I have a radical idea for changing it. It's profiting the hell out of the Halliburtons of the world. But what I'd like to do is outlaw privatizing the wars. If we did that, it would only be a matter of days, a month, until we'd have to pass a draft. And if we passed a draft, the wars would end.
That sounds a little bit like outlawing the privatization of prison industrial complex
yes.
and maybe even education and healthcare. Healthcare,
yes,
too,
exactly.
comes to mind.
Absolutely. So I think the Congress ought to come up with a bill to outlaw all this privatization. That'd be a great first step.
Maralyn.
I want to say one thing. I don't believe that war is more profitable than peace for the majority of us. I think it is profitable for a small number of people who are amassing the wealth of our society and leaving the rest of us wondering, well, why didn't I get to share in that? So I think we need to put that analysis out there so people can take a look at it and realize, we need to build our local communities. And I like the idea clean technology, working on alternative energy issues, as an example.
Martha, I want to come back to you and bring the media into this. These very same organizations, companies that have been making money off some of this, whether it's military contractors or those who represent the agribusiness, huge corporations that are benefiting from so-called free trade, those are the names that you see with money available to underwrite programming and to advertise and, heaven knows, own television networks. What role do you see our media playing in this discussion, and how do we change it?
Well, what the media is doing, I think that there's probably not a lot of outright, you will put this in the programming and you won't put that. But because it is corporate media, there's a lot of prior censorship. So they know General Electric owns the network. They're not going to criticize those military contracts. So I think one thing that we have to do is break up the corporate media. We need more independent media like Grit TV. And we need some federal oversight of the media we have.